Hello, this is Roland. I want to make a little video here just to bring you some summer updates. Summer updates. It is the summertime, beautiful weather. And I'm going to be taking some time where I'm going to be out of the office. Out of the office. And so I won't be near the computer for live chat or like that, okay? But I will be checking the emails every day, probably in the afternoon. I'm going to be on like a vacation. I'll go to the library and then check the emails, and so keep sending your prayer requests, okay? Keep sending your prayer requests. I will be reading them and I will be praying. I'll have plenty of time to pray this summer, okay? Lord knows we need prayer, okay? Now, a couple other things I wanted to bring up. First of all, a lot of people have been writing to me, emailing me about jobs. A lot of people have been going for job interviews without success. Some people are getting discouraged. Okay, so here's what I want to say about that. Okay, first of all, um, going for job interviews. I've been to a lot of job interviews in my many decades of life. In fact, I was actually at one time I was an employment supervisor. I was in charge of interviewing people and then referring them on to the hiring managers. And I did that in Illinois, parts of Missouri, Illinois, part of Iowa, and part of Missouri. So that was a big deal. I was at corporate headquarters. This was a long time ago. So I know a lot about interviews. Okay, so here's what I want to say. First of all, you got to keep trying. Keep trying. It's a numbers game. Okay, you got to get you need to have get your interview skills in good shape, and you need to have your resume looking good and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but then and you've got to network. Talk to people and look for connections. All that kind of stuff that you hear about. You got to just keep doing all that stuff as if you were working. There was an organization called the 40 Plus organization. I think they still exist, and it was for executives, okay, who were out of work. And basically, what they were told to do, probably still are, is to get up in the morning, okay, have breakfast, whatever you do in the morning, put on your nice pants and your shirt and your tie, get your briefcase, go find a place where you can sit down and start making phone calls and sending out emails and go visit offices and do all that stuff as if you were working. Dedicate yourself to the hiring, to getting a job as if you were working. Okay? Don't be like what most people do. Monday morning, they call up a couple of places and say, "Are you hiring? Are you hiring?" And then by about 10 a.m. they get discouraged, and then the rest of the week, what do? Sit around and watch TV and text and see what I mean? No, you got to keep at it. And it can take a lot of time. And then the other thing is, who knows? Okay, there have been times when I thought I was going to get the job, and I didn't. Other times, I was sure I would never get the job, and then lo and behold, they made me a job offer. Okay, so who knows? Plus, don't forget, if you are, um, if you bring God into your life and you pray to Him, okay, you want to do the right thing, okay, and you would like to find your path in life, but you're not sure what it is, but you would like to. And so that means that you're always have an eye toward what's right and what's fair and what's proper and what's good for you. You see what I mean? Well, then the good Lord might have some plans for you, but it's not going to be like a straight line trajectory usually. Sometimes you take 2 steps in one direction and then 4 in another. So just keep at it, don't give up. Okay, now I want to say something about meditation. Meditation is very important. Most people are kind of lost in a sort of a trance. You don't even realize that you are. You don't realize it, but you are. It's a mild trance. And it's the effect that things have on you and people have on you. Okay, it's something like being lost in thinking and driving right past the exit you were supposed to take on the freeway, or it's kind of like being lost cell phone conversation, and then somebody says something and you don't even hear that they're talking to you, type of thing. Or it's kind of like being caught up in something, watching a movie, and then all of a sudden you say, where did the afternoon go? Where did all that time go? It's just gone. See, it's sort of like that. And it's also sort of like, we're talking about hypnosis now, okay? And I'm just giving you some clues in layman's terms, okay? I know a lot about it, but let's just keep it simple. It's also something like getting upset about something and then not being able to get it off of your mind, okay? Something like that. And it's also like going to a ball game and yelling and screaming, and then while you're yelling and screaming at the ball game and getting all excited about the ball game, you eat too much or you drink too much. See? That sort of thing. Um, so that gives you kind of an idea. So you're in that state, you don't realize it. Okay, but you're not, and you can't realize it because when you're in that state, you can't realize. Okay, except something snaps you out of it. You snap out of it and you say, "Oh my God!" It's like the morning after the night before. You wake up and say, "Oh my God." Okay, and people, you can also. It's also something like getting caught up with a person. Do you have friends? Hope it hasn't happened to you, but do you know someone who maybe got caught up with some kind of an affair? Like one lady got in, had an affair with a married man. Okay, and he kept promising her this and that and stringing her along, and it went on for years. Okay, years and years and years, and when it was all over, she ended up with nothing. She was caught up for years. Okay, so that's kind of a hypnosis, isn't it? Well, um, so now you see, perhaps maybe you can get a hint now that there is something called, there is a hypnosis of sin. Sin itself is hypnotic. You get involved in the wrong thing, doing it with the wrong person, something that's not quite proper. You get all caught up in it. It can eat away your life. See. So that's what I'm saying. And so it's also something like this hypnosis that I'm talking about, this mild trance that I'm talking about, that I said we're all in a mild state of all the time. It also has to do with getting caught up in like texting. Okay, caught up in texting or caught up in video games. You're not totally there. Maybe that's a good way to put it where you can understand what I mean. Okay, you're not totally there. So if you're caught up with too much with your work, not that work is bad, but I'm just saying caught up too much with work or with texting or with a video game, with anything, you're not totally there. And then what happens? Then your wife and your kids say, you're not there for me. See? All right. Or if you're the wife, then somehow caught up with who knows, friends, shopping. Also video game, whatever you're caught up with, you make too important. Remember, Christ said, put first the kingdom of God in his right way, and all other things will be added unto you. Okay, put first the kingdom of God. Okay, that's more important than texting, more important than the ball game, more important than shopping, more important than anything. Okay, and all other things will be added unto you. So that way you'll have things in proper perspective. See, and Christ said what? Love God with all your mind, soul, heart, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. See, that's the proper order of things. And then after that, the other things. See? All right. So when you're hypnotized, you kind of get caught up with something, and then it's you don't have things in the proper order. So now you got the idea. Okay. So what are you going to do about it? Well, it's hard to come out from your mild state of hypnosis because you don't even know you're in it. And it comes upon you. And then you make mistakes. You spend too much. You eat too much. And then you ask, why did I eat too much for? It's kind of like grabbing a bag of potato chips and then sitting there just kind of eating it, thinking about something, lost in a daydream, and then you look and then you've eaten half the bag or the whole bag. See? All right. All these little things. Well, who was it? Goethe that said every second is a miniature minute, every minute a miniature hour, every hour a miniature day, every day a miniature year, every year a miniature lifetime. Okay? So sometimes you can see in a flash, in an instant, you can see the story of your life. See, there you are, lost in potato chips or whatever. Time goes by, and you say, "What happened? What happened to the time? And what happened? And why did I eat too much?" See? All right. So what are you going to do about it? Well, you have to. That's why my meditation is helpful, because it helps you to snap out of that. It's very simple. It's a very simple technology. It's a sort of a little meditation that helps you put things in proper order and helps you get out of thinking. See, that's what happens when you fall into your trance and make mistakes. Then when you start to come out of your trance, you realize that you made mistakes and you don't want to see them, so you escape back into thinking again, into fantasy, see, or into emotions. So the meditation helps you come out of your emotions, out of your thinking, out of your daydreaming, back to the moment. Okay, up, 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 out of your hypnosis, out of your trance, up to reality. Okay, and there it is, there's reality. Now when you first come back to reality, sometimes like the cold, hard reality, see, cold, hard reality. But actually reality is beautiful, and it's warm, and the birds are singing, and that's where you'll find God. Okay, we got to add that little element. That's why I always say mindfulness is, it's nice. It's like harm reduction. Okay, better mindfulness than smoking. Okay, or better mindfulness than getting all upset and screaming at people. So mindfulness is good, but it's basically not enough, because you have to add God. You have to add God, and then there has to be a proper meditation. Proper meditation, not any meditation. A proper meditation, and not a meditation that puts you into more thinking, more trance. See, if you get lost in visualizing, that's more hypnotic trance. That's what's gotten you into your mess in the first place, is being lost in thinking and visualization and fantasy and daydreaming, and see? All right. So that's why you should get the meditation. Begin to practice it. It'll help anchor you in the present. Okay? And I also made a nice video a couple of weeks ago called Advanced Techniques of Meditation, where I talk about being aware of your hands. If you get the little meditation, which I have, incidentally, it's free. It's called the Easy Meditation. Completely free. It's only like 10 minutes long. It's in 2 parts. Part 1, you practiced getting out of your standing back from thinking, just mentally standing back, okay? And sitting quietly in the present. And then part 2, very important, brings in the element of becoming aware of your hands. So your hands become warm. Your hand or your hands become warm. And then once you begin to get the handle of doing that, which is easy, okay, then you go out in the world, take the meditative state with you, and become aware of your hands from time to time. And as you're aware of your hands, they become warm, tingly warm, okay, and it reinforces the aware state. That's what you want in an awareness state, which is the opposite of the hypnotic state, where you're lost in things. See? In the aware state, you're not lost in things. And then when these delicate moments in life come along with your wife, your kids, your husband, your partner, your neighbor, then you have awareness, and you can do the right, the wise thing, the reasonable thing, the common sense thing, the rational thing, because you're not lost in your trance where you make mistakes, see, and emotionally make mistakes. Okay? So I encourage you to get the meditation, give it a try, and it could do you a world of good. My name is Roman.